I am currently watching the Georgia Tech Clemson game while I am making this video, and I must say that I am not impressed with Clemson being the number 4 team in the country. DJ looks lost, this offensive line can't block, Georgia Tech can't do anything with this Clemson defense. It's just an absolute mess right now for both offenses, but Clemson has found ways to get 24 points, and that's definitely going to be enough to beat Georgia Tech. So with that being said, what a wild 5-day Labor Day weekend it was for football. All starting Thursday night, and then we go all the way up to Monday. The weekend was crazy, man, especially that Appalachian State North Carolina game. That game was absolutely crazy. Appalachian State should have won that game, by the way, but North Carolina don't have no damn defense whatsoever. But anyway, let's go back to this team right here. The Lincoln Riley era has officially begun at USC. And what a magnificent performance that was by the USC Trojans as they destroyed the Rice Owls 66-14. In one game, Lincoln Riley did something that Clay Helton never did. As a matter of fact, it was something that USC has not done in 10 seasons. This was the first time since 2013 that we scored 60+ points in a game. We haven't done that since the 2013 season when Ed Orgeron took over as the coach. Well, as interim coach, that is. That's crazy. Another thing we haven't done under Clay Helton in this game, we had 3 interceptions that resulted in the pick sixes. We've never done that under Clay Helton in one game. And then on top of that, so Clay Helton, the 7 of the last 8 games that he coached at USC, we did not score a single touchdown in the third quarter. This game under Lincoln Riley alone, we scored 4 touchdowns in the third quarter. So you see the difference. They look prepared to play. They look ready to play. They look physical, especially in the second half, especially their defense. Now going into this game, I was concerned about the trenches. I was also concerned about the defense. The offensive line held their own in this game. They did a good job. The defense, it took them a while, but they actually got things going. The first drive for Rice, they drove 80+ yards. They got a touchdown eventually. And then their last scoring drive, which resulted in well, it was a big run by Montgomery, I believe it was. Cam Montgomery, I think his name was. He had a big game. I believe he finished, what like 99, 100 yards or something like that. But eventually they found out that they could run the football on us, and they did a good job on it. As a matter of fact, I believe that Rice had over 100 yards rushing as a team in this game. Yeah, they had 146 yards rushing, and they only had 134 yards passing. So our secondary did a really good job holding down the fort and not allowing them to get comfortable in the pass. But we did give up over 100 yards on the ground. And then on top of that, we did get 4 turnovers. So that's a big plus in one game, especially the first game of the season. But back to the offense. The offense was absolutely magnificent from the jump. USC's offense finished with 538 total yards, 330 passing yards, and check this out, 208 rushing yards. When's the last time we had that in a game? We haven't done that in a long time. And then on top of that, we averaged just over 9 yards per play. So you see the offense, you see what we're doing on offense. We look very swift, we look very strong on offense. The offensive line once again did a great job. And then on top of that, Jordan Addison, we saw him get his first 2 touchdown catches as a USC Trojan. Taj Washington led the team in receiving yards. He had a magnificent game. I wish he had caught a touchdown though. Mario Williams, another facilitator on the offense. We're going to be so far on offense this season. As you see, the first quarter comes to an end. We're up 7-0 on Cal. Number 6 team in the country at that too. They doing real good, Cal, that is, in this series. But anyway, back to the game in real life. The running backs, I like the running backs. I like the three-headed monster that we got. Travis Dye did a great job of picking up the blitzes, picking up the block. There was one block where Caleb Williams was on the verge of getting sacked, and he picked that up real quick. Such a great running back that he is. Very happy that he left Oregon and came down to Los Angeles. Now we go to Austin Jones. I believe this is the cat that transferred from Stanford. Somebody in the comment section correct me if I'm wrong. But he had 2 touchdown runs. That last one, though, he broke those tackles, got up the gut, ran it up to the left side for a touchdown. That was excellent. Throwback, nostalgic, USC Trojan type running right there. And then last but not least, you got the true freshman, Raleek Brown. Now, he got injured at the end of this game, but we're hoping that is nothing serious. I haven't heard no updates about it. Hopefully, he'll be available for Stanford next week. If not, though, I think we'll be fine. But we just got to be physical up front. So back to the game versus Rice. The defense, though. Defense looked shaky through the first 2 drives. After that, Alex Grinch made some adjustments, and then boom, we started getting turnovers. Then boom, we started getting pick sixes. The first pick six, though, I believe it was a 3rd down or a 4th down play. The pass was deflected. I believe it was Luke McCaffrey that dropped the ball. He couldn't haul it in. And there goes Caleb Bullock picking that thing off and taking it all the way back 92 yards for a touchdown. Now, if my memory is correct, the last time the USC defense had a defensive touchdown of that long was back in 2011. 2011, that was the last time we beat Notre Dame in South Bend. Jawanza Starling picks the ball off on a muff snap by Notre Dame, that is, and takes it all the way back for 99 yards. And that set the tone for the rest of the way. That was the last time we beat Notre Dame. I still can't believe that. As you see there, we're up 17-0 on Cal. But anyway, let's get back to talking about this defense. So this defense, though, after Rice got those first 2 scoring drives, well, the only 2 scoring drives, we started to make adjustments on defense. As you see, I throw an interception, and that's a very bad read, and that's a great play by Hammond right there. But back to the real-life Trojans. The defense, after those first 2 drives that Rice scored on, put on a clinic the rest of the way. They were swarming against the run in the second half. They kept getting turnovers. We got back-to-back pick sixes. And then eventually we got another interception. I forgot who picked the last one off. But you see the difference between Lincoln Riley's USC and that other guy. I'm not even going to say his name anymore. The team looks so much better. We look ready to play. I know people are saying it's just Rice, but at the same time, we have not been looking good lately under the other guy against teams at that caliber level that is the Rice Owls. I know somebody on Twitter said that last year we played San Jose State and we only gave up 7 points. But if you go back and look at that game, we did not play that well. Not up to my standards anyway. Look at this play, though, by Kenneth Smith. Look at that right there. Just an excellent play right there by Kenneth Smith. That man is an animal. And I forgot, he's not a sophomore. He's actually a junior. But let's get back to the Trojans in real life. So we were swarming on defense. Eventually, they didn't get anything as far as running the ball. They had one big run play, but it wasn't that much. But that was pretty much it. We pretty much held them down the rest of the way. Back to the offense, though. We scored on what? 3-4 straight drives. I believe it was 3 straight drives before that pick six. Before that first pick six, that is. But you see now, it was reminiscent of Pete Carroll's USC. All the 3 and outs that the USC defense was getting during that time. Throughout the rest of the way in the game, Rice was either punting the ball or they was forced to turn the ball over on downs. Oh, look, Clemson just scored again. There goes Will Shipley. So back to the USC Trojans. Rice just couldn't get anything going. I'm very happy with the defensive performance, especially in the second half. Able to get more pick sixes, a pick six palooza, like I said at the beginning of the video. Shane Lee looks really, really good. I forgot he's an Alabama transfer. And he's pretty big too. I don't think we've had a linebacker that big since the days of Ray Maluga Brian Cushion and Clay Matthews, if I'm being honest. I know we had Hayes Pollard, Uchenna Nwosu, and Dion Bailey, but they weren't big like that. I'm just saying, man. But they were some good linebackers, though. But for this USC team, it's only a matter of time until we put everything together and continue to keep winning games. Hopefully, we can keep winning games like this. But we got a big test next week. We're going up against the Stanford Cardinals. Now, we know that David Shaw hasn't changed anything about his philosophy since he's been head coach at Stanford. Pretty much mimicking the same thing that Jim Harbaugh was doing while he was out there. We know David Shaw likes to run the football. If you saw the game versus Colgate, you know, the Colgate Raiders of the Patriot League. No, never mind. Pretty sure a lot of you cats don't know who Colgate is. But anyway, Stanford likes to run the ball. Stanford likes big wide receivers. They also like using big tight ends. That's what they're pretty much known for. And then on top of that, the defense is gritty. And it's going to be a gritty game out there in Palo Alto, California. I can't wait to see it because I want to see how we match up with them physically. I know that we're not deep as far as the offensive line nor the defensive line, but we're going to have to depend on sheer will and determination if we're talking about winning that game. And then, of course, we got Fresno State the following week, but we'll talk about them another time. So, I'm very happy with what I saw on Saturday. Now, I must admit, after Rice scored on their first drive, I was one of the people on Twitter that was like, yeah, this is why I was suspect of Lincoln Riley bringing in Alex Grinch. But then that defense showed me something, especially something that we have not seen in years at USC. And that was the fact that we made adjustments. Alex Grinch went into the locker room knowing that we was getting ran over on the ground. And he was like, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We made the adjustments and then boom, we shut down the run game for the most part throughout the entire second half. That's what you want to see in a coach. That's what you want to see in your players. Coaches recognizing that what you're doing isn't working, so we decide to do something else. Look at Stanley Morales, though. Stanley Morales is a monster at wide receiver, man. You're going to see more of that as the season progresses. But we're up 38-14 over the Cal Bears, the number 6 team in the country. We put them in a spliff like this. That's nuts right there. As the fourth quarter begins, there goes Cal, there goes France stepping back to pass. He pops in and finds Harris. But let's talk about the game last night between Florida State and LSU. That was an absolute disaster, and it shouldn't have ended like that. That game should have ended. And what, a 31-14 victory for the Seminoles, or 31-21, something like that. The fact that they gave you another month punt and you don't capitalize on that because you fumbled the ball on a toss play, that's an absolute disaster. But luckily for Florida State, they was able to get that extra point block and they ended up winning that game. Because the game shouldn't have happened like that. LSU didn't do nothing on offense all game, and boom, they get a 99-yard drive. And I think that's what it's going to be like with Brian Kelly being the head coach down there in Baton Rouge. It's pretty much mirroring what he did at Notre Dame. Depending on defense, not a great offense, not great quarterback play. Although Daniels did show me something, but they still have a lot of things to work on. And then on top of that, Botet, your best wide receiver, wants to transfer now. He caught 2 balls, only 2 balls, but he dropped 3 balls as well. Nobody's talking about that. But anyway, enough about that game. Let's get back to this USC football team playing against the Rice Owls. So the stats look like this for the USC Trojans. Caleb Williams was 19 of 22. He only missed on 3 targets, 249 yards and 2 touchdowns. Miller Moss had 81 yards on 6 of 7. Not bad at all. Caleb Williams led the team in rushing with 68 yards on 6 carries. I really do think that we need to give our backs the ball more, but I'm not complaining at all. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and let Lincoln Riley do what he does. It was nice seeing Darwin Barlow get a touchdown too. I am happy about that, considering he's one of the other guys' players. So he had to take a back seat in what Lincoln Riley has to do. but it was great to see him to come in and get a touchdown. He actually looked good running the ball too. So the leading receiver I said earlier was Taj Washington, but we have so many receivers on this team. You got Jordan Addison, you got Mario Williams, you got Kyron Hudson, you got Braden Rice, you got Kyle Ford, CJ Williams, Lake McRee, and then Gary Bryant Jr., who I'm hoping to see more of as the season progresses. So there's no point of playing favorites like the other guy was doing. We'll just share the wealth. And then there goes our red shirt freshman tight end all the way from Florida, Alfred Anderson, getting a touchdown right there. That man right there is going to be a problem as he progresses in his college career. And there goes another interception right there by Rays. Going back the other way, getting tackled near the 20-yard line. USC is on it against Cal right now. But anyway, so as I said earlier, we got Stanford next week. And I'm really looking forward to that game, man. I can't wait to watch it because I want to see how we're going to prep for this game throughout the week and practice, how we're going to look come Saturday, what's the coach has been doing as far as watching film, what the players are thinking, getting them ready to mentally be tough, not only mentally but physically against a team that not only likes to dominate up front, but they want to embarrass you in the trenches and run all over us. Remember, Stanford rushed for almost 300, I believe it was almost 300 yards last season against us. And of course, that was the game that got the other guy fired and we all celebrated. That should be a holiday amongst USC fans. That was one of the greatest days in the history of USC football. That man getting fired finally. But unfortunately, we had to pay out $12 million to get him out of here. But that's going to conclude this video, man. I'm really looking forward to next week. Next week in college football in real life, that is. Join us next time. I still got to talk about the game returning, the EA Sports video game. I can't wait to see what they do. I do have some details on it. I'm going to let you know about it. Thank you for watching. Peace.